So we are doing sessions on Shiv Sutras, and the commentary has been narrated by Shri RAVISHANKARJI. So first sutra, the sutra means a seed. The literal meaning of sutra is thread. Just like just like a kite needs thread to soar high in the sky. So in the same way, if our life has to be taken on new heights, it needs something to hold on to, something auspicious to believe in, which will take us to the new height of our existence. So it is called sutra. The other meaning of sutra is the thread which holds pearls. So the meaning, each and every word in the sutra is like pearl. So its enormous meaning is held in each and every sutra. It's like a seed which holds a huge tree inside it. So every sutra has a capacity to bring manifold results out of it. The first sutra we learned in Shiv Sutra is Chaitanya Matma. So what is the meaning of it? Atma means soul and Chaitanya means consciousness. So directly we cannot know the soul. We speak that I am the soul, but directly we may not be able to know it. But the other way to know it is knowing the consciousness. Consciousness is the way to realize the soul. So we all know consciousness because we all are conscious. In the same way, each and every living being is conscious, and there is also consciousness in non-living things, but it's very, very less. It's so less that we cannot feel it. So the consciousness can be can be experienced. How it can be experienced? By raising our energy, by raising our vital energy into our body through proper food, right sleep, and right knowledge. So by increasing energy, we can experience the consciousness, and through this, we can know ourselves. The second sutra was Jnanam Bandha. The knowledge can be your bondage. So how it has been presented? Knowledge which is taken through five senses is always limited. The senses are limited. Senses cannot take knowledge beyond its capacity. So the whatever knowledge has been taken through senses, ears, eyes, nose, anything, it is going to be limited. So we shouldn't hold on to this limited knowledge. We can, through this limited knowledge, we have to go towards the knowledge which is coming from the infinity. So knowledge, limited knowledge can bound us. The knowledge which is information more and realization, which is not has been realization, can bound us. This type of knowledge doesn't allow us to grasp new knowledge or new understanding. Then the third sutra was Yoni Vargaha Kala Shariram. So what does it mean? We have heard that there are billions and billions species, yonis in, but here it is said that the whole universe is the one yoni, and all the living bodies are the art of this one single yoni. And then it has been explained in detail by Gurudev. The fourth The sutra was Jnanadhishtanam Matruka. So we can we can know something beyond our mind by just relaxing our mind, by slowing down the space of our mind, by slowing down the space of our worries. And the fifth sutra. So today we are going to hear about fifth sutra. Udyamo Bhairavah. When you put in full effort, then you experience completeness. Udyamo means effort. Give your 100% in action, speech, and thought. And the energy that is generated by the union of these three will raise you up to a higher level. Udyamo is what supports us. Udyamo means full efforts. In life, we do so little. We do not give our full effort anywhere and even worry half-heartedly here and there. If you want to worry, then sit down and worry 100%. Are you worried that you may drown or fall sick? You may die, and that is all. If you die, then there will be nothing to worry about. Anyway, everyone has to die. So have you worried 100%? So Gurudev says that we do everything half-heartedly, even we worry half-heartedly. So if you want to worry, worry 100%. So what is worry? Worry means not applying your efforts 100%. You may be worrying about today, tomorrow, or even the coming decade. If you are going to worry, then worry big. Worry about how the world will be after 100 or 5,000 years. There is so much pollution already in the world today. What will happen after 15 to or 20 years? If you are going to worry, then do it in a big way. Drown yourself in worry. Otherwise, we live as though we are dead or dying at every moment. In Hindi, it is said, a dying person dies only once, whereas a person afraid of death lies every moment. When will Swatmananda Prakasha Vapu say dawn in life? So this was the first sentence explained in this book, Swatmananda Prakasha Vapu say. So the light of bliss that that uh, comes out of our own body, comes out of our own self, and which is expressed through our body, the light of the bliss. So when this will happen, when we achieve this goal, that our each and every cell is radiating this light of joy, when will life be full of joy? We bargain for a little of this and a little of that, wanting that such and such should happen. These are our main worries. To free our consciousness, which is bogged down in petty worries, the sutra says, Udyamo Bhairava. When we put in our best efforts, we do not worry whether or not our work will be successful. What does worry mean? It means that we have not worked to the best of our ability. Imagine that you are playing football or running a race. If you put in your full energy, you will have no regrets. If you do not put in your 100%, then you may think, I could have done better. A person who gives his full efforts knows, how could I have done better? I did my best and am prepared to accept the results. If I get the fruits, I will be fine. And if not, then too I will be happy. When you completely apply your energy, fully using action, speech, and mind, you become Bhairava, full. Bhairava means fullness. So Bhairav is also one of the forms of Lord Shiva. So meaning of Bhairav means what? The one who is full, the one who experiences fullness, or one who does everything in fullness. So the main purpose of this sutra is that when we put our 100%, our mind doesn't wander. We might have experienced whenever we are doing an action, if even if we know it that we have not given our 100%, then we will start worrying about the result. But if we have given our 100%, that there is no gap or no possibility of putting some more effort, then what will happen? Our mind will not wander. Our mind will become steady. It will not wait for the result because it knows it has given its 100%. So this is how the mind becomes full and doesn't worry about the future or the result. Dissatisfaction, unhappiness, and discontent enter the mind when there is no fullness. Until people find fullness, they cannot have peace, comfort, or sleep. At every stage in life, if something is missing, then boredom, uneasiness, and discontentment set in. Just to rid themselves of discontentment, just to rid of discontentment, people visit temples and other places of worship. Why do we listen to discourses? Why do people pray? Why do break a coconut at temples? Is it not to get rid of discontentment and to find contentment, to move from imperfection to perfection? A thirsty person looks for water and a hungry person for food. A person with a full stomach does not look around on either side of the road or a restaurant. Only a hungry person does that. Only a person who is building a house will look for a hardware store. Before that, though he walked up and down the road so many times, he did not notice the hardware store. An exception is clothing and jewelry stores, which always get noticed except by people whose minds are happy and content. They do not think of them, even for a moment. So the meaning is that when we have contentment, we don't look here and there for something. But when we are not content, our mind will always search for something here and there. Do not think that your mind is fickle or weak. It is not fickle. It merely desires completeness and in roaming here and there, looking for completeness. When one is content, then the mind automatically becomes serene and quiet. The whole life is a struggle to find contentment. You will never find contentment in any object or any situation. Your very nature is contentment. In order to realize that, you should exert your full effort. Do you know what happens to your body when rajas or restlessness increases? It does not allow you to sit quietly at ease. Instead, you fidget, rustle about, squirm, move your legs, and tape the table. Sitting on the lawn, you pluck the grass and pull leaves from bushes, playing like a monkey. This happens because of rajas, unsatisfied physical and mental powers. So, to satisfy them, we must do some activity. Some people think that just by sitting quietly, meditation will happen, but it is not the case. Only the person who works well can sit to meditate. There is a misconception that it is the idle people who meditate, pray, and sing to God. An idle person can never meditate. In fact, the person who works hard can meditate better. This does not apply to those who overwork themselves. Some people work all day and night like madmen. They end up oversleeping or falling asleep even when they sit to meditate. A person who works well in moderation can meditate well. So here it is importance has been described about the work that when the restlessness increases in the body, so it is called rajas, sattva, rajas and tamas. So rajas is restlessness in the body and mind. So we do all something, some activities, moving our body here and there, but with the aimlessly, without any aim. So what should we do? We should indulge into some activity. So by putting our efforts into some activity, actually the rajas calms down and mind becomes stable. So a person who works moderately and works hard can meditate easily. If you have lots of ambition and dynamism but do not utilize it correctly or in the right direction, then that energy becomes rajasic. If we are tired or disturbed, then that rajas become worry unless we utilize it in some activity. Good sleep and work increase and our sattvic nature, and when sattva increases, we can meditate better. Sattva arises when tamas, that is laziness and boredom, vanishes. So to make the mind cheerful and peaceful, we need to balance tamas and rajas. Rajas gets subdued when you are 100% of your energy in any effort. Rajas drives you to activity, and once that activity is finished, the mind changes to its sattvic nature. Tamas also gets subdued by this use of energy. So when there is so much rajas and tamas, if we indulge into some good activity, then automatically we shift into sattvic energy. So that on a day off, you decide to work less and to sleep a couple of hours extra, or that after a delicious lunch, you take a nap. Later, when you wake up, your body feels heavy. The more you sleep, the more you gain weight and feel lazy, and the more rajas increases. That is the reason one should sleep moderately. Sometimes when you wake up, the mind is pure. At that time, sattva is dominant, and one easily meditates. To raise the level of sattva, put in 100% efforts. Udyamo Bhairava. Bhairava means he who nourishes and who creates fullness. Bhairava fills up our incompleteness or lack. When we invest 100% of our energy in any action, there will be no regrets. And there are no regrets. There is no fear or anxiety. The mind is complete, awake, and in the present moment. In this state of awakened consciousness, you again return to Namah Shri Shambhave. The mind turns inward, becomes peaceful, and surrenders. The surrendered mind finds Sri. Sri means wealth, strength, peace, cheerfulness, and success. Anand Vapuse means happiness spreads around us. We reach our goal and have no need for the Shiv Sutras. So once we reach our goal, then we need no Shiv Sutras, or we can say we need no sutras. So till we attain our goal, we follow these sutras, giving 100% efforts in every action. Never say it will happen if God wishes. This is not the correct way. The good idea that you have come from God. So put them into action. We generally run away from effort. There is a saying in Sanskrit, Udyogina Purusha Simha Mupaitim Lakshmi, meaning Wealth and prosperity is due only to those who put in their full efforts. Lazy people do not find wealth. God has given everyone hands, and it is up to you as to how you use them. If you want to play sitar, then you have to practice. Or if you want to type on a computer, you have to learn to how. Practice or study is required for anything you want to do. Effort and continual practice are required in both worldly and spiritual matters. Some people say, I will go on a pilgrimage when God desires, or I will go for sadhana only if Guruji makes me go. This happens only when the mind is not firm and is wavering in its contentment. You do not apply the same rule to other areas. For instance, you do not say, I will eat only if God feeds me, or I will see the movie only if God shows it. Only by working hard and applying full effort, you can experience good samadhi. A lazy person never reaches samadhi. Therefore, satsang, sadhana, and seva, that means being in right knowledge, right people. Sadhana means doing your spiritual activities, practices, and seva, services. All these three are very important. When you do these, you enter into yourself into Shiva Tattva, that is auspiciousness, our auspicious being. Then it becomes easy to experience love and knowledge. We treat our wishes and God's wishes differently. We accept things according to our convenience. When you succeed in something, you say, I won by putting in my full effort. But if you lose, you say, what can be done? It is God's will. You never admit that you did not put in your effort 100%. So I hope everyone is uh, getting the benefit. My voice is clear and you all are understanding.
Yes, come.
So let's move ahead. So this sutra has been very much elaborated. Only this one sutra has been so much about this sutra has been given. Udyamu Bhairava. It's so much given about efforts. So people who who are putting lots of efforts day and night in so many activities, in so many work, if they are doing aimlessly, then they should bring their efforts to moderation, because then there is no proper sleep, no proper rest, and mind is not at rest. But if we are not putting our 100% effort in any single activity, then that dissatisfaction remains inside our heart, inside our mind, and the mind cannot experience that fullness. And because it is in discontentment, it again goes into the next activity, uh, or it seeks happiness in something here and there, because the mind is unable to find the fullness. So once we find the fullness, then we are able to go into the meditation, into the samadhi, and then we are eligible to experience happiness, the happiness of our own self. So later on, the Guruji explains that actually God did it. Otherwise, it would not have happened even if you tried. So God alone does everything. This is important to understand. The efforts that you make are also Shiva. If God alone is the doer and nothing exists except from Him or except for Him, then He is also enjoying the fruits of action. If God has made you a thief, then through you, God will also experience punishment in jail. Suppose you overeat and say, I have a stomach ache. How is it possible that you have a stomach ache? The aching stomach is God's. If you are not the doer, then you are not the enjoyer of actions either. Remember that he is the doer and also the enjoyer. So here Gurudev explained how we shift in our saying. When we achieve something, we say, I have put my efforts and this is my achievement. But when we fail, we say it's God's will. So if God is the doer, then he is the doer of everything. He is also the doer of action and is also the receiver of the fruits. He is enjoying the fruits. We are nowhere. So we shift according to our convenience. We take the stand according to our convenience. So it's better we give our 100% and accept the responsibility of the fruit. You will not get results if you merely keep thinking about a work that you have no interest in doing. If you want to do something, do it 100% and complete it. If you want to leave a project, then drop it and drop it in your mind too. Whatever you do, do it 100%. It is not right to say, why should I do it if everything is being done by God? Only God is doing everything and He is doing work through you. The God in you is eager to work. Therefore, allow God to work. Why do you stop God midway? This is only acceptable when you feel God Himself is stopping midway. If you sit and start wondering about it, you will wind up utterly confused. Come out of it and let your mind be empty. The energy you have to do work is Shiva. Your faults also belong to Him. Virtues and happiness come from knowledge, while flaws and misery come from ignorance. If happiness and misery are the same to you, then knowledge and ignorance are also same. You will not feel anger or hatred towards anyone. Liberated and pure, you will march towards the self. Sukhe dukhe samayakatva labha alabha jayajatve. Krishna tells Arjuna, treating with equanimity happiness and misery, gain and loss, victory and defeat, fight the war. Fight without feverishness. So, since just like Krishna telling Arjuna, fight without feverishness, so here the sutra says, put your 100%. Either do give your 100% to the work or leave the work, drop it from your mind too. Look at your actions as a witness. The heart beats, blood flows, breath moves in and out, digestion and other functions continue. These processes happen on their own. Even thoughts appear by themselves. Realize that there is no distinction between a complete doer and a complete observer. Then you will become the doer of everything. This should happen naturally. You should still act. Do not be without doing. The rain falls only when it is time to rain, and the sun rises and sets in its own time. You cannot affect these, but when the sun shines, open the windows. Only then can the rays of sunlight enter. If you open the windows at 12 midnight, expecting the sunlight to enter, how can it happen? If the windows are shut, it will be dark inside even if the sun is shining. Nature is giving you everything, but still you should put in your full effort. Without effort, you cannot prosper. Only when you apply effort will you get results. So we will continue the same sutra tomorrow.